Hi folks, Gunny Paul here with an away day guide for Crystal Palace. Anyone travelling to Selhurst Park, everything you need is coming up. Okay, as I record this, Selhurst Park is 100 years old, having opened in 1924. Its record attendance is 51,482. But it also holds the record for the highest attendance in Division 4, or League 2 as it is now, and that was 37,774 when they played a local derby against Millwall back in 1961. They were one of the first two teams in the English Football League to operate a ground share with Charlton in the late 80s, but that agreement came to an end in the early 90s and things got back to normal. The away supporters are housed in the north end of the Arthur Waite stand, and they get around 3,000 out of the current capacity, which is 25,486. If you're driving down, I usually recommend the park and rides for London clubs, but with this one being on the outskirts, it's a little bit different. I mean, there are a few, and you can take advantage of the overground rail services in, but nearer the ground, you've got a small number of options in the Sainsbury's car park, which is right behind the opposite stand to where the away fans are housed. But as I say, that is very limited. There is some street parking dotted around. I've found one that was recommended by local fans a couple of seasons ago, and that's on Warncliffe Road. It sort of runs alongside a park, but if you are going to use it, just check that they haven't changed the signage. They can do that at any time, and you don't want to be falling foul to a money-making scheme from the local council. But the last couple of times I've been, Warncliffe Road is well used by the local fans. It's 10 minutes from the ground. Locked under cargo, as you walk 3 words, it'll get you onto that street looking for a spot. And it's free, which is a rarity in London. For those using public transport coming on the trains, there are no viable options for tube stations nearby. You're looking over 6 miles away for either Brixton or Wimbledon, and it's just not practical. You better switch into the overground services or direct rail routes in to either Norwood Junction or Thornton Heath. There is a stop at Selhurst as well, which is about the same distance from the ground, and it's one stop after Thornton Heath if you're coming from the north. But there's nothing for fans between the station and the ground, so I'll avoid talking about that one too much. Don't fall into the trap of getting the train to Crystal Palace station. That's, again, 2 miles away and much more of a faff on a match day. The other three are roughly half a mile from the ground, a little over. Moving on to the pubs, if you're coming into Thornton Heath, there's one just across the road from the train station. It's got the Railway Telegraph. You can find that at Alien Menu Dress. That's decent. It's always popular with anybody coming in through that station as a first stop. And it'll leave you with about a 15-minute walk, maybe 20 to the away end if you walk slow. For those of you coming into Norwood Junction, if you come out of the station and head down the street, turn right, opposite the Nissa Local, there is a quite large away-friendly pub called the Shelverdine Goat House. Weird name, I know, but it's big. It lets away fans in, and it's a great place to meet before heading to the ground. Again, 15 to 20 minute walk away. That's actually on the side of the away end, so it's an easier walk from there if you're choosing between the two stations. You can find that one at before trains spill, appropriately. And then a little bit closer to the ground, you've got the Prince George. It's on the corner. They have an outside drinking area if the weather's permissible. They even have a little pump outside, which is novel, I thought, on a table. I've been in there a few times. It's mixed. You get both sets of fans in. It's good atmosphere. Everyone's happy. And it's just a little hop to the ground from there. You can find that at Pumps Fluid Skill. And basically they take all the furniture out and it's standing room only, so they can cram as many people in on a match day. So it's always a good atmosphere. There's always a bit of singing, which always makes it good fun. As for hotels, there's not a lot around the ground area or Crystal Palace itself. You've obviously got the city centre options in London. They're going to be the more expensive ones, unless you opt for the hostels that I've recommended in other videos. But failing that, heading out of the city towards Croydon, you've got a little cluster of much better options. You've got Holiday Inn, Hampton by Hilton, and a few other budget ones like Easy Hotels and stuff. But they're about 2 miles from the ground. At a 40-45 minute walk if you plan to do that, or it's one stop on the train that heads up to Norwood Junction, so that might be a handy option if you are stopping over. Moving up towards the ground, if you are coming from the Prince George direction, you want to go past the Sainsbury's, keep it on your right, and go around the top of the ground and onto the north end of the Alan Waite stand. You're basically going straight off the street into the back of the ground. It's London, it's traditional, so there's not a lot of room. Your concourse is tiny, but Royal Shows Blaze will get you into the right area for the turnstiles. And once you're in, enjoy the experience. It's interesting, shall we say. One of the gents' toilets has got like the narrowest set of stairs I've ever seen, and there's lots of posts and pillars to be dodging for your restricted views. But overall, it's a decent away day. I've been Paul. If you found this useful, drop me a like and maybe consider subscribing. Tell your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers. Help me out by clicking the subscribe button. It's free of charge and it really does help. You can also drop a like on the video itself, and why not share it with friends if you think they'll find it useful. Cheers.